Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in day 5 of AWS Zero to Hero series, today we are going to launch an EC2 instance based on Linux. Then we are going to install a Nginx web servers. So let's move to a demo. So let me go to my AWS portal. Okay, so I'll go here sign into console. So my credentials is already saved, that's why I like automatically logged into this console. So here if you go to the view all services, here you can see all the services. So now we are talking about EC2 instance. So EC2 comes under compute service category. So let me click on EC2. So here we will get a dashboard for EC2 instance. So here you are getting the option called launch instance. Let me click on that. So now here we have to provide a name for this particular EC2 instance. So let me give a dev server. And if you want to specify a tag for this particular server for billing purpose or identification purpose, what for which purpose you are going to create this particular EC2 instance, then you can add a tag here as well. For example, key name, here you can put any name, you can, for example, demo. Now another option you will see here, application and OS image, which is called Amazon machine images. So this is the predefined template which we are going to use to launch a EC2 instance. So here we can see an option called Amazon Linux, Mac OS, Ubuntu, Windows, Red Hat, Sushi and Debian. These are the distributions. And if you find more, you can click here, browse more AMIs. So here you will see lot of, so you can see total 45 filtered, and community AMIs you can see 500, published by anyone. Like this is published by, this is not the, this is the community AMIs basically. So for this particular demo we are going with Ubuntu one. So let me cancel this. Okay, so now I'll choose here Ubuntu as a my Amazon machine image, like the version, the operating system basically. So here also we have different what I say tiers. So let me drop down here. So you can see a lot of instances like Ubuntu server 24.04, 22.04, and there are pro and all. So for demonstration purpose I'm going to use free tier eligible. So on free tier we have two versions, 24 and 22, so you can choose any one of them. So let me click on confirm. Now architecture you can choose here like 64-bit, x86 or ARM, which one you want. So it's fine, I'm going with a default one here. And username, you can see the default username for this particular AMI is Ubuntu. Now here is the instance type, like the hardware specification, like how much memory you need, how many virtual CPUs you required. So you can choose these options from these particular list. So again I am going with free tier. So T3 nano, sorry, T3 micro is a part, it is eligible for as part of free tier. So it will be free for almost 750 hours. Now let me click here key pairs. So as of now I don't have any key pairs, so let me generate a key pair. With this key pair basically we will authenticate when we try to log into EC2 instance. So let me click on create new key pair, and here I can name is dev under hyphen key pair, and here you can choose key pair type RSA or the ED25591. So I'm going with default RSA1. And here private key file format .pem file you need or .ppk. So I'm going with .pem file. So let me hit on create key pair. So as soon as you will hit on create key pair, it will automatically download a PEM file in your local system. So this particular file you have to keep in safe place. If this particular file will be compromised, then anybody who will have this private key can access your EC2 instance. Now in network settings, I'm not going to explain for now because it is too early. So we will cover networking in separate, where I will explain about BPC, subnet and all. So just for now, just leave it default. We are just focusing on EC2 instance here. So here you can see a security group. So it will automatically create a security group for you. If you have already existing one, you can select from here. So for example, we have a default VPC. So you can choose that one. So let me click on create new security group. We will create a new security group called Launch Wizard 1. So with this name, basically the security group will be created. And here you can see allow SSH access traffic from. So here you can see three options. Anywhere, like from any network you can connect to this EC2 instance from your local system IP address, or you can specify a custom IP address range. So for now I'm going with anywhere. And this is the storage part. So this is also I'm not going to explain for now. When we start exploring the storage like EVS and all, then we will cover this part. And additional details also, we have a lot of options here. So for now, if you want to join this virtual machine or virtual server with your Active Directory and all, then these are the options. So again, this is too early for this. We are just focusing on EC2 instance launching part for this particular video. So everything we have defined, whatever is required. So let me now click on launch instance. So it will take couple of minutes to launch the EC2 instance. You can see the details as well. What is happening: initializing request, creating security groups, then it's creating a security group rules, then it's launch initiation. So if I go back to my EC2 dashboard, here we can see two instances. So one, why we are seeing two instances? Because earlier I have created one instance and I have terminated it. So if I'll go to instances here, so one instance you can see in a terminated state. So this is the life cycle of EC2 instance, that also we will cover in upcoming videos. And this is the instance which we have created. If you want to give any name for this particular instance, you can give here for easy identification. So I'll give here dev server. Sorry, dev server. Okay, so now you can see we got a public IP address which we will use to connect to this EC2 instance, and the security group which is associated with this EC2 instance, the name is launch-wizard1 and the key name is dev-key pair. So now let me go to this particular instance. Now here you can see the option called connect. So if you click on connect, there are multiple ways to access this EC2 instance. You can use EC2 instance connect option. Then you have a session manager. For that, SSM agent should be running, but in our case it's not running. Then we have SSH client, then EC2 serial console. So for now what we will do, we will use SSH client. So for that you should install OpenSSH or any SSH client in your local system. So in my case I have already installed OpenSSH in my local system. So to verify it, what I will do, I will open a command prompt sorry, let me open a command prompt here. So if I type here SSH, so you can see I'm getting some response. It means the SSH client is installed in my machine. You can simply Google it and download on your machine. So let me clear this screen. So now we have downloaded a key file, private key file. So you can see this is the command which we have to run, ssh-i. This is the key pair name which we have created, dev-keypair.pem file, and this is the user, the default user for Amazon machine image is U12, and this is the DNS name for our EC2 instance. You can either use this particular full name or you can use IP address as well. So let me go to my location. So I have downloaded a private key file here. So let me open a command prompt here. So I am in the location where I have my private key file. So this is under download folder. So let me copy this command and I will run it. So it is asking for the confirmation. Let's hit yes. So we are connected to our EC2 instance. If you see the instance ID, so let me go back here. Okay, so let me go to my instance ID here again. So this basically, okay, so this is the basically private IP address of our EC2 instance. So if you see here, private IPv4 address 172.31.17.38. So this is the private IP addresses of our EC2 instance. If you want to connect from the IP address, then what you can do, let me click on exit. So if you I'll go back to the command, and here what I will do, instead of the fully qualified name, I will copy the public IP address. Let me go back to my command prompt and I will paste the public IP address. Let me hit on enter. Okay, could not resolve a host name, no such host. Okay, so we are not able to access with this public IP address. Okay, so we have connected using the public IPv4 DNS name. So let me click on connect again. So this is the EC2 16.16.26. Let me verify it, the DNS name. Okay, so EC2-16-16. So this is the fully qualified domain name which is used to connect. Okay, so the question is why we are not able to access with public IP address. Let me try again with this particular host name. So because this IP, okay, sorry, let me copy the IP again. Let's try one more time because there was some character is left. So okay, so okay, now we are connecting because I think there was some character left when we delete the previous command. So let me click on yes. Okay, so now we are connected with public IP address. So there are two ways. You can either use a public IP address or you can use a public IPv4 DNS name as well. Okay, so now what we will do next? Now we will install a Nginx web server on this particular EC2 instance. So let me clear the screen. Sorry, it's a clear because it's not a Windows mode, it's a Linux. So now what I will do, I will run sudo apt install. Before that, let me run update command. So it will download the packages or patches basically. Okay, now let me run sudo apt install Nginx. Okay, it's asking for confirmation. Let me hit on yes. Once we install our Nginx server here, now we should be able to access this Nginx server from the public IP address. So let me search here, and let me also try with this DNS name. I'm not sure. Let's see if we can access from this one as well or not. Okay, so the site cannot be reached. Why? Let me go back, and if I go to the security groups, Nginx by default run on port 80. So this is the security group launch-wizard one which we have created as part of this EC2 instance. So let me go to, okay, so I'll go on this particular security group. Now you can see in the rule type, inbound rule, we have only one port allowed, which is 22. So let me edit this inbound rule. Now let me add another rule, which is HTTP, and the source could be anywhere IPv4 address, and let me save it. So here you have an option, like if you want to specify my IP or you want to specify any range, you can do that also. So let me click on save rule. Okay, so now we have allowed port 80, which is used by Nginx web servers. So now let me refresh this page. Okay, now we can see the home page of Nginx web server. Welcome to Nginx. Let me try with this also, fully qualified DNS name. Okay, so if you see, this is going to the HTTPS, but we have not allowed HTTPS. It should be only HTTP. So we are able to access with public IP or DNS name as well. So I hope it's clear how we can create a EC2 instance, and we can allow inbound rules, or we can allow ports to access our applications. One more thing, we have installed the Nginx application after creation of user EC2 instance. If you want to install EC2 instance, sorry, and if you want to install a Nginx web server during the creation or launch of EC2 instance, you can do that as well. For that, you have to go to a user data. So let me go to EC2 instance. Let's see if we can see here user data. Okay, so that option we cannot see here. If I go to settings, okay, so let me do one thing. I will not create another EC2 instance. I'll just show you where we need to specify. So let me click on launch instance, the new instance, and here if you come down here in additional settings, you will see here user data. So here you can specify a command, or if you have a particular file script, you can upload that one. So as soon as the EC2 instance will be launched, automatically Nginx web server, any web server, any configuration you want, that will be automatically added in your or installed in your EC2 server, EC2 instance. So that's all for today. In case if you have any doubts, you can ping me over comment. So see you in next video. Thank you so much.